When people hear the word Renaissance, they think of beauty, paintings hanging in quiet museums, statues carved from perfect marble, brilliant minds sketching ideas far ahead of their time. But that image is incomplete, because the Renaissance was not a peaceful awakening. It was violent, unstable, and often deadly. Behind every masterpiece was a patron. Behind every patron was a power struggle. And behind every great mind was risk. Tonight, we explore the Renaissance's dark side, where genius survived through fear, betrayal, and ambition. Renaissance Italy was not a country. It was a patchwork of rival city-states: Florence, Venice, Milan, Rome, Naples. Each one competed for wealth, influence, and survival. Fact: Italy saw more political assassinations between 1400 and 1550 than almost any other region in Europe. Governments changed overnight. Allies became enemies. Families rose and vanished. If you were talented, this chaos was opportunity. If you were careless, it was fatal. Artists did not create for self-expression. They created to survive. Painters, sculptors, and engineers depended on patrons, usually powerful families or the church. Fact: if a patron lost power, artists connected to them could be imprisoned, exiled, or executed. Art became a political weapon. Frescoes glorified rulers, statues projected strength, architecture intimidated rivals. Beauty was not innocent. It was strategic. Florence was officially a republic. In reality, it belonged to the Medici. They controlled the economy through banking, including the finances of the church itself. Fun fact: the Medici didn't rule openly at first because being too visible was dangerous. Power worked best when hidden. In 1478, their enemies struck during Mass. The Pazzi conspiracy ended with blood on the cathedral floor. One Medici brother died beneath the altar. The response was brutal. Bodies hung from windows. Entire families erased Florence. Terrorized into obedience, art flourished. Because fear enforced stability. The Renaissance church preached humility, but practiced power. Popes lived like kings. They led armies, sold church offices, appointed relatives to high positions. Some popes openly acknowledged illegitimate children and installed them as rulers. Rome became a city of luxury funded by indulgences. Forgiveness sold for money. This corruption directly fueled anger that would later explode into the Protestant Reformation. The Renaissance church funded genius, while quietly undermining its own authority. Leonardo da Vinci is remembered as a peaceful genius, but much of his income came from war. Surprising fact: Leonardo's job applications focused more on designing weapons than paintings. He offered armored vehicles, giant crossbows, improved cannons. Leonardo worked for rulers who valued destruction as much as beauty. Genius survived by adapting. Michelangelo was famously difficult, and that was dangerous. He clashed with popes, delayed projects, and openly criticized authority. Fact: at one point, Michelangelo fled Rome in fear of punishment for defying the Pope, yet his talent made him untouchable. Barely. The Renaissance rewarded brilliance, but punished defiance. Loyalty in the Renaissance was temporary. Mercenary armies, called condottieri, often switched sides mid-war. Fun fact: some battles were deliberately staged to avoid casualties, because mercenaries didn't want to die for temporary employers. Politics became theater. Truth became flexible. Power mattered more than honor. Niccolò Machiavelli is often misunderstood. He did not promote cruelty. He observed it. Key insight: the prince was not advice on how rulers should behave, but how they actually survived. He understood Renaissance politics better than anyone. Fear worked. Deception worked. Idealism failed. His honesty made him infamous. The Renaissance gave us extraordinary beauty, but it was built on instability. Genius did not flourish despite danger. It flourished because of it. Art mattered because power was fragile. Ideas mattered because survival was uncertain. The Renaissance teaches us this: progress is rarely clean. Innovation often grows in conflict, and history's brightest ages cast the darkest shadows. Rapid history, the past told fast.